Y'all.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We hope you guys are doing all right. We miss y'all. Today we're going to be talking about the food web, food chain, and just kind of start with that. We'll give you some examples. And today's pretty simple. All you're going to do is take your notes and answer the questions that are on Weebly for you, okay? And make sure that you guys are, if you're doing your work, make sure you're submitting it, because I know there's a lot of people I think are doing their work, but they're not necessarily sending it to me. And then for you guys who are sending it, thank you. We appreciate that.
Yes.
All right.
You can email it to me. You could do both ways.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to share our screen. Okay. And so under week 3, Cab Nation, make sure that you're entering the weekly drawing giveaway. Ramaya won last week, so congratulations to her. She had a little box of treats mailed out to her, and she should be getting those today. So if you are chosen, if your name is the one that's pulled, we will be sending something in the mail to you, a little sweet treat, okay? So make sure you're entering the little drawing. Monday, you were supposed to simply draw your favorite places in nature, outdoors. These are the ones. Yeah, these have been awesome.
Look at that one. That one looks like it's watercolor with a wave.
Yeah, Abigail did that one. It was awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So make sure you guys are sending pictures. These are the only ones that we have so far. Make sure you're sending those. I'll keep uploading them as you send them. Okay. Tuesday, we did our creating fossils. I will get that video uploaded sometime this week. Hopefully today, we'll see. Depends on how the internet is. And then we are to today, which today's April Fool's. 2020 has been an April Fool's joke, because this whole year has been a little crazy. So don't be going crazy with your April Fool's jokes today. But by the end of the day, I want you to be able to answer the following questions. These guys below. We're going to learn what a trophic level is and the amount of energy at each trophic level. Okay, and you did this last week, so you should be pretty familiar with it. Autotroph versus heterotroph, herbivore, omnivore, carnivore. And then you're simply going to draw your notes. And right here, draw a food chain with 4 trophic levels. You can do this, or you can do one of your own with your own little organisms in there, okay? So let's go ahead and get started with notes today. Miss Pate, you want to start?
Yes. Okay, so you can see whenever you eat today, one thing I want you to think about is where on the food chain does this lie? So if I eat a salad today for lunch, then I'm eating producers. So it's on the bottom of the food chain. So think about that. Whenever you're on the bottom of the food chain, most of the time it's a green, like a green plant. It is a producer because they produce their own energy. At this time, you can look on the side, it's absorbing 100% energy. But as you go up the food chain, it decreases. So when we get all the way to the top, you have less than 1%. It's like 0.01% energy for an eagle, which is a quaternary consumer. Okay, so then the next level will be a herbivore. And so this will be your mice, crickets, ants, anything that eats a producer is a primary consumer. Okay, then moving on up, you have the birds, frogs, possums, and they're a secondary consumer, and they eat the primary consumers. Okay, does everybody understand that? You're at the 3rd trophic level. Then you move up, and then you have your snakes, and they are tertiary consumers, and that's your 4th trophic level, but they eat the birds, the frogs, and possums, depending on how big the snake is, okay? Then you move up to the eagles, and these are your predators, basically, and they're the quaternary consumers, and they eat the snakes. Usually at the top of the trophic level, nothing else eats them. They're at the top. So these will be like your tigers, your lions, stuff that are predators that really don't have a opposing competition,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't get a lot of their energy. So today, whenever you eat, I want you to kind of think about, what are you eating? Are you eating a herbivore? Are you eating a producer? Are you eating, like, what trophic level are you eating? Because that's how we get our energy as well.
Yep. And trophic levels, guys, all that means, it's just a level that shows how much energy is flowing through the ecosystem. So remember, producers get their energy from sun. They go through photosynthesis. So they're getting 100% of that energy. They have the most energy at the bottom of this, this food pyramid right here. Okay. And so as we move up, it goes all the way from 100% to 10 cent, just one trophic level up. Okay, so the first little layer right here, this is the first trophic level. Okay, so it is the first flow of energy in an ecosystem, and it's going to be your producers. Okay, these guys get their energy only from the sun. And then we move up, second trophic level. These guys right here, we're at 10% energy now. Okay, these guys are going to only feed on the producers. Like Miss Pate said, they're going to be herbivores. Okay, third trophic level, they're going to be your secondary consumers. Remember, second 2, and down here primary 1. Okay, and secondary consumers, that's our third trophic level. So 1, 2, 3. We move up to our fourth trophic level. These are the ones that are going to eat these guys down here. Tertiary, if you ever have the word TRT, TERT, sorry, that is going to mean 3. Okay, so tertiary consumers. And then think about quaternary consumer, 4. Okay, and so you can just see first, second, third, fourth, fifth trophic level. Okay, and how the energy also decreases. Least amount of energy, most amount of energy. Okay, and then we move to autotroph. Remember, auto, that prefix auto, you automatically do something. It's automatically done. Troph is how something gets its food. So autotroph, automatically making own food. And we know that happens through photosynthesis. Okay. Hetero means different. So I consume my food in a different way. I have to have a different source. So this is where you have an herbivore, a carnivore, an omnivore, something that consumes food. Okay. And so herb, think about herbs that you can get at the grocery store, only plants. Carnivore, that's only meat. And then omni means all. Okay, they eat both plants and animals. So pretty simple. And so we'll look at some examples here. But you can see as you move up, and when you do this at home, when you're taking your notes, what I want you guys to do is I want you to draw this and try to label it. Okay, so without looking at the primary, secondary, tertiary, quaternary, try to label it like this. First trophic level, second trophic level, third, fourth, fifth trophic level. Okay. Producer, primary consumer, secondary, tertiary, quaternary. Down here, 100% energy, 10%, 1%, 0.1%, 0.01%. And so those are the 3 things that I think that you should be able to label, along with the little organisms that are going to be in each of these, which shouldn't be too hard. But you can just tell whatever's below it is what it will consume. Okay? Food chain, food pyramid. And this right here is the food chain. Okay? And it's saying the same thing, except it's giving you arrows pointing to what is being eaten and what is eating what. So at the very bottom down here, you always start with producers, so plants. Okay? And so whatever it points to is what is eating it. So this grass is pointing to the rabbits, squirrels, mice, seed-eating birds, herbivore insects, which means that all of these guys right here are consuming producers. Okay. Now, you can see that this arrow points to the fox. The rabbit obviously is not going to eat the fox. Okay. So this simply means that this fox right here is eating the rabbit. And same thing. See if you can follow this other arrow. What else is eating the rabbit? You should be able to say hawks and owls. Okay. What about the little squirrel? Who can eat the little squirrel? Follow the arrow. This guy's eating the squirrel. This guy's eating the squirrel. Okay. Same thing with mice. Foxes are eating the squirrel, hawks and owls, and snakes. Poor little guy. And next week we're going to talk about, even some this week, but mostly next week, we're going to talk about how organisms have a better chance of survival, adaptation, evolution, that kind of thing. So if this guy is camouflaged to the environment and another one is not, he may live versus the other one. So it'd be harder for the snake to be able to find him. But you can just follow the little food chain and you can see who's being eaten by what. This bird right here gets too close to this fox, he's gone. Same thing with the snake, same thing with the owl. Okay? And so super simple, you see this one, the spider's pointing to this insect right here. So who's eating the spider? The insect. All right? And so you also have to think, I remember asking my science teacher one time, like, why do roaches exist? But everything has their own purpose. And so think back to limiting factors. Limiting factors, things have to be eaten and die in order to maintain a good carrying capacity in an ecosystem. So everything has its purpose in order for life to work. Okay. Ms. Pate, Ms. Desiderio.
A good video that you can also pull up by yourself is the Amoeba Sisters. If you type those in and just type in food chain, they also go in and explain it in a different way. I mean, they're saying the same thing, but just in a different content. But this you've had since maybe like 5th grade, so this should be a kind of a review for you guys.
Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. Tomorrow we will get into homologous, analogous structures along with embryological similarities. Embryo, think about babies while they're in the womb. Okay. And just simply evolution, which is getting into one of my favorite things in science because it's a lot of fun to look at how organisms are similar and different. So be ready for that. Make sure you are sending us your completed work so we can mark that because we are keeping up with that. And we just, if you're doing it, we want to be able to give you credit for that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anybody else?
Can I say something?
Yeah.
All right. So for like herbivore and omnivore, we have like little ways that we can remember those.
Mm-hmm.
But for carnivore, do y'all want to learn a Spanish word today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, meat in Spanish is carne.
Carne.
Oh, carne.
So carnivore. Ta-da!
Nice.
Yeah, that's just the way you can remember that one.
Okay.
But that's it.
Say that word again.
Carne.
Carne.
Carne. So when you go to the restaurant, you can be like, I want some carne.
Does that include like all kinds of meat?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. All meat.
I know what pollo means.
Oh yeah, chicken.
That's usually what I get. That's cool. Okay, nice. Yeah. Nice job, Miss Desiderio.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
We'll see you soon.
Yeah, have a good day. Go outside and play. It's beautiful, beautiful weather. Get your work done. But other than that, we'll see y'all tomorrow.
Bye.